G'day, you're back with George. I had a mighty productive day. I'm halfway through finishing a course that I'm designing. We're releasing that soon. So we've come to 11th of February 2026. Another episode of A Message of Hope. Today's question: should Christians use credit cards? Avoid them completely? I'll pause for a minute. You can say yes or no. Well, tap and go, one-click checkout, subscriptions that renew while you sleep. Because in Australia, and I suspect much of the Western society, it's easy to spend without feeling the cost. And that's why credit cards can create contention for Christians. Not all the time. Yes, I'm sure they can help with cash flow, travel bookings, and fraud protection. They can also feed impulse buying too, right? Quiet money worries for a moment and then leave you with a balance that hangs around for months and months, like a bad cold. I don't think this is just a good or bad money tool question. I think the root of it is a stewardship question. Who's leading here, you or the credit card? Okay, well, here's a clear way to decide, with rail guards if you keep a card and safer options if you don't. So what do the Bible actually pushes us to ask before we swipe? Yeah, as you expect, the Bible doesn't name credit cards, but it does talk a lot about money, desire, and freedom. Start with the big one. Jesus warns that we can't serve two masters. It's true. Money starts calling the shots, faith gets pushed to the edges. A credit card can become a quiet master because it makes spending feel very painless. Then there's contentment. Scripture keeps pulling us away from comparison and craving. That matters because card spending often follows emotion, not need. For example, new phone, new clothes, a treat after a hard week. Yeah, that's pretty common. None of that looks evil in the moment. It can still pull you off track. Now here, I'm not making judgments on you guys, please. Just giving you my thoughts. Debt is another theme. And this is my favorite ones. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7. It says, "The rich rules over the poor and the borrower is the slave of the lender." The book of Romans also points us to a life that doesn't stay trapped in ongoing debts. Now that doesn't mean every debt is a sin. In fact, the Bible never said it is a sin. So let's make that as a fact. It does mean debt can shrink your choices and your peace. I've seen it many times. Now stewardship is the frame that holds it all. What you have is God's and you manage it. I've talked about that before. That includes your income, your time, and your habits. Wisdom says a tool is only helpful if it stays a tool. There's one more angle that matters. People aren't just wired the same way. Everyone's different. Some people love rules and stick to them. Others spend when stressed, bored, or flat. In reality, the best plan is the one that fits your pattern, cuts temptation, and keeps you honest. So there's a lot of work to do, obviously. If you pay a card off every month, that's what I call a payment method. If you carry a balance, now that's considered a loan. Very big difference there. Interest turns small choices into long problems. Minimum payments can keep you stuck for years. It's easy to drift because the card still works and life still happens, right? Debt also steals surpluses. It can drown out giving, saving, and planning for the future. Very sneaky. If your card balance blocks generosity, that's a spiritual issue. It's not just a math problem. And of course, a credit card can amplify what's already in your heart. A card doesn't create desire, it turns desire into action a lot faster. because it's easy, right? Just swipe. Swipe spending can link with impulse, coping and comparison. Retail therapy, keeping up with the Jones, buying peace for an hour perhaps. Again, I'm not making judgment in any of you. Now try a quick self-check it. Do you spend to change your mood? Do you buy things to feel like you belong? Do you feel regret after you check your bank app? If yes, you don't need shame, you just need guardrails. See, I'm the good guy. Some Christians avoid credit cards completely, and that can be a strong choice. I'm not in that camp. Others use one with tight controls and stay debt-free. But I say both can honor God. Okay? I'm not flip-flopping here. A card can be wise in a few situations. I'm going to name them. Online purchases are one. Credit cards often offer chargeback options if goods don't arrive, or a merchant won't fix a problem. Travel bookings can also be smoother with a card. Some providers place holds that don't play well with debit cards. Yeah, I've seen that before. A card can also act as a backup in a true emergency. If you already have a plan to clear it fast, that is. Right, so you've got to be responsible. Cash flow is another use, but only with discipline. The best version looks boring because you spend what you already have, then pay in full on time every single time. You know, the red flags looks different. The red flags are revolving balances, hiding spending, using points to talk yourself into purchases, Qantas points, frequent flyer points perhaps. Using buy now, pay later on top of a credit card, I think that's a no-no. No budget. Gambling or high-risk habits that just make one more feel normal. Be careful here. This isn't just about prosperity thinking or trying to look blessed. The goal is faithfulness, peace at home, and room to give. It's green light when you pay in full, track spending, and treat points as a bonus. That's good habit. The paid in full rule is the line in the sand. If you can't follow it, the card isn't helping. So you're beginning to see my opinion here. Now, auto pay the full statement balance if your bank lets you. Check the card once a week, not once a month. Keep the limit low so one bad week can't become a long mess. Alright, you've got to work towards it. Rewards are fine as a side effect, but they're dangerous as a motivator. If points shape your buying, the card is leading. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about more red flags. Red flags, you are borrowing to live or the card keeps you stuck. So watch for these patterns. That you're relying on minimum payments, you're moving debt around with balance transfer but not changing habits, cash advances, I've done it once, ouch. Paying bills on credit because cash is short, or you're feeling anxious when a statement lands. Also, watch for relationships. Money secrecy often turns into conflict. If you're hiding purchases, not telling your partner, or avoiding conversations, the problem is bigger than a card. Boy, you have problems there. If you're already carrying a balance, stop chasing points. I recommend to keep this simple. Decide, set rules, and review. Because you know I like steps, right? Step 1, choose the goal. I call it debt zero. More giving, more stability. Pick just one main aim for the next 90 days. Step 2, check you can live by, paid in full. This gets easier if you have a 1 month buffer in your account, of course. If your bills already run tight, believe me, a card can become a patch, not a tool. Step number 3, pick guardrails. Okay, so you make sure overspending hard and not easy. Step 4, choose one card or none at all. More cards usually mean more noise, more spending, and more juggling. Step number 5, review monthly. One short money check-in and one honest question: is this card helping me obey my plan? Would God be happy with what I'm doing with it? Again, if you keep a cart, set guardrails that make overspending hard. Use these guardrails that match your weak spot. Okay? Sound like repeating a broken record. One card only, because there's fewer moving parts. You lower the limit so you can keep your damage small. Do not save your card details on a computer. Remove it from shopping apps and browsers. Maybe even keep it out of your wallet. Store it at home or freeze it in a container. Auto pay to full balance. Not those I'll do it later moments. Okay. Weekly check-in. Ah, there's my neighbor. I'll say hello. Oh, she's busy. Okay, just 10 minutes, same day each week. Accountability. Make sure your spouse or trusted friend do not know secrets about. Do not keep secrets away from them. Okay. And of course, add a simple prayer before the big buys, the big purchases. A pause can change things, really. If you ditch the card, build a system that still protects you. Now, going without a credit card works best with a plan. I've said that before. So important I had to repeat it. You keep a small emergency buffer, even if it's modest. Use a debit card with transaction alerts so you see spending fast. That's a good tip to have. You set up a separate account for bills so your rent and power money doesn't get mixed with spending money. Use a prepaid card for free trials and online merchants you don't trust. Another good tip there. Plan for annual hits too. Car registration, insurance, school costs, sinking funds stop those bills becoming surprises that push you back into debt. So, my final takeaways on credit cards and Christian stewardship. The best choice is the one that keeps you out of bondage, supports wise stewardship, and protects your peace in relationship. If you can pay in full, keep tight guardrails and stay honest, definitely, I agree, a credit card can stay a tool. Keep it in your wallet. But if you tend to carry balances, you overspend or high spending, please avoid card. Please avoid them. Pick one change today, set auto pay in full, lower your limit, cancel the card if you have to. Then review your stress levels and your bank balance after 30 days. Because freedom often starts with one clear decision, then a better habit you can repeat. Until next time, have a great day.